What's up, Pod Pals? Is your print-on-demand business as organized as it could be? If not, it's time to join the free Pod Foundations Challenge from September 17th to 19th. You'll get exclusive access to the same spreadsheets I use to manage my designs, my SKUs, and all my product details. Plus, we'll walk through how to adapt them for your own business. Don't miss this chance to streamline your operations and set yourself up for success. Head over to printondemandcast.com/foundations to sign up now.
Radical! Welcome to this week's episode of the Print on Demand Cast. Each week, join the gnarly Travis and Josiah as they provide insight into the print-on-demand industry and equip you with the totally tubular tools, advice, and strategies you need to achieve success, and hopefully have a few laughs along the way. Now on to this week's Totally Tubular show.
Welcome back to the Print on Demand Cast. This week is a little bit different because, well, there's a whole lot of reasons. One is I'm actually in Las Vegas at the Printing United show. And another reason is our streaming platform that we use to record the video and post, a video and an audio recording online is down. And so I'm not able to use that. So I don't have access to like all of our bumpers and, all the fun things. I may try to edit this in GarageBand on my Mac, but even that, I downloaded that thing and I was trying to record into GarageBand and I couldn't do that. So I'm not sure if this audio sounds really crappy and if I'm going to have any intro music or anything, but here we are. It's episode 213. And today we're going to talk about 5 myths. Actually, just a bunch of myths. I think I got 7. Let's see how many I have real quick. I was so focused on the audio that I didn't check my notes. But yeah, we have 7 myths. 7 myths that about business communities and about being in community in business. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But before we get to that, I'm just going to jump right into our weekly dad joke.
Time for the weekly dad joke.
So this week's weekly dad joke comes from you from Las Vegas. And last week I was hanging out with my wife before I left. I actually was on another trip right before this one to see my mom and my cousins and my uncles and kind of went back home. We had a poker game. It was a lot of fun. I got 4th place. I was kind of bummed. I had queens and I ran into kings, and the guy who eventually won, my cousin Brandon, he took me out and I was sad, but it was still great to see all of my family. And anyway, I was telling my wife when I got back that I absolutely love melted Mexican cheese. It's literally my favorite dish ever. And she was like, "Okay, so?" And that's this week's weekly dad joke. So hanging out here in Vegas and having a great time. It's actually day 2, and I'm missing the show right now because it's Wednesday. I'm recording this the day I'm releasing it because my schedule's just been so messed up and couldn't sync up with Josiah. He's actually on another trip for the entire week, so we weren't able to connect. I was going to do this yesterday, but yesterday I actually spoke on a print on demand panel, which was a lot of fun. Really, really cool. There were 3 of us up there. And then Cassie from The Apparelist, which is the publishing branch of Printing United, was kind of the moderator. And she was asking us some questions. And then obviously we got some questions from the people who were attending too. It was a lot of fun. And then after that, I did a podcast in the Apparelist podcasting booth that they have here at the show. And I interviewed Cole Lundstrom, who was on the show way back when. I don't have his episode number handy, but he was on the show. That was a lot of fun back then. And since, there's been a lot of change in his business, and we were talking about kind of the state of the industry, and it's always so fun to record like right in the middle of everything, and you can see people walking by and you can see all of this equipment. This show is really, really amazing. It did not disappoint, and I'm excited to get there. today. So that being said, we're just going to jump right into the main event today.
It's a main event. Talk about your prince. They're sitting on the fence. This is a main event.
And talk about 7 myths about business communities. And you may be asking, like, what do you mean? What's a business community? And what I'm talking about today is really being part of like a Facebook group or an Instagram group or a private mastermind or a membership or any type of business community where everyone in the community is doing similar things. They're in the same general business. And so I think there's some fear around this whole community thing. And I wanted to talk about it today and go over a few myths and then, excuse me, and then talk about the actual reality, that's actually happening. So let's jump into this. The first myth, and this is a big one, and I think this hits home for a lot of people. The first myth is everyone in the community is a competitor. Do you kind of relate to that? You have this concern or this fear that everybody in the community is competing for the same customers. They're competing, maybe they are competing or maybe they are on the same platform, but are they really competing against this for the same customers? We're all, competing with the same designs and then the same, like I said, the same market, Etsy or Facebook or wherever. And we have this fear is like causes us to not want to share ideas. We don't want to share our strategies, or even potentially our resources, how we're doing things, how we're creating mock-ups, how we're doing all these other things. And we feel like it's going to directly benefit our competitors and harm our own business. Can you relate to that? Well, let me tell you, first and foremost, that the pie is really, really big. It's bigger than you can imagine. The reality is that not everybody in the community is direct competition. People are at different stages in their business journey or they're serving a different customer base completely. In episode 172, I talked about the POD success journey and different stages of your journey as you're building your print-on-demand business. And there's 4 of them that I've identified, and you can go back to listen to that if you haven't before, but it talks about how there's different stages of business. And so all of these people, in my opinion, can benefit from a community, and they're not in direct competition with each other. The person that is kind of just dipping their toe in the water, they're not 100% sure what niche they want to go into. They're not sure how they want to go about listing on different channels, et cetera, is in a completely different position than somebody who's been doing it for 5 years, And so those people aren't in direct competition. The cool thing about these business communities is that they can offer opportunities for collaboration, for potential partnerships, or simply just mutual support that kind of helps everybody grow rather than compete destructively, and trying to put the other person down. So that's the first myth. Myth number 2 is that sharing in a community means your designs will be stolen. And this kind of goes along with the first one, man, if I share, this cool new design that I'm doing, is somebody going to take it and are they going to steal it from me, or are they going to even make it better and then take all my customers away? It's kind of similar to that first one. So there is anxiety around that. There's anxiety around sharing designs or even your creative processes and how you come up with these designs that could lead to other people copying you or just straight up stealing your design and using it as their own. You worry about your unique selling points and how they'll be diluted if others replicate or rip off your design. Well, the reality is that genuine communities, for the most part, typically have a culture of respect. They have a culture of respect and support where everybody in the membership, everybody in the community who engages in unethical behavior are called out. And you see this a lot on Facebook in different groups. You hear about kind of the bad apples, and they get just flamed. They get torched by other people in the group, kind of blackballed even. And then a good community leader is going to remove that person and give a reason and share, kind of the whole story behind the thing, or at least part of the story. And that's really what's going on when things like that, when people steal designs or post, nefarious information or, spam, affiliate links or whatever. A lot of times those people are called out, and they're removed from the community. The bottom line is that these communities really can provide valuable guidance on all kinds of things, and specifically if we're talking about print on demand, we've had Ken Reel talking about protecting intellectual property, all these IP things and how we can fight back, with letters of protest to the USPTO and things of that nature. We're actually on your side, I guess. These communities and the community members, for the most part, we're all in this together, and we understand these potential risks, and so we're all kind of working together towards the same goal. And that's the reality of myth 2. Myth 3, and this is a big one, and it kind of, again, it goes with the first two, but myth 3 is your niche will be overrun. It'll be discovered and overrun. People fear that others are going to discover their super, super awesome, unique niche that nobody else knows about or whatever, and then they're going to flood the market in that niche, and it's going to make it really hard for you to stand out. There's this concern that sharing details about your niche will encourage others to replicate that same success, especially if you're doing well in a specific niche, and the reality is that community members are typically focused on their own stuff. They're focused on their own niche and their unique approaches to business. And even if they're inspired by a niche, they're likely not going to follow that. And if they do, they're going to put their own unique spin on it. And so it's not necessarily going to overrun your existing niche. Look at, Coke and Pepsi and RC Cola and, Shasta Cola. I don't know. Is Shasta Cola a thing anymore? I don't know. But, there's so many different colas out there, just straight up colas. And that kind of shows us that there's often room for multiple players within the same niche, and everybody can succeed. There's room. That, like I said in the first point, the pie is really, really big. It's bigger than you realize. And so this particular fear that your niche is going to be discovered and overrun, well, it's not necessarily true. Even if somebody does jump on into your niche, like I said before, they're probably going to put their own spin on it, and it's going to be unique to them, and it's going to be different enough that you both can potentially succeed in the same niche. So that was myth 3. The last 4 that I have here is they're all kind of, again, the first 3 were kind of similar in fear of your actual content, your actual processes, your designs, all of that stuff. And then these last 4 are more kind of mindset things. And so the next one is myth 4, is that being open about your challenges and your struggles in your business makes you look weak. And again, like, this is an internal thing, you're just getting started. And so you feel kind of embarrassed by the fact that, you haven't taken the steps to move forward, or you've been selling for a while and you just can't, figure out how to get those sales in, and you just have a few sales. And so worrying about that and admitting your struggles makes you seem less competent, less successful. And this is, again, it's a mindset thing, and you have this concern that being vulnerable is going to damage your reputation. It's going to damage your credibility in the eyes of your peers. And the reality, and this is gold here. Vulnerability is huge. Vulnerability often builds trust. For the most part, it builds trust within a community, and it shows authenticity and relatability. Back in episode 164, maybe I can't remember. It's in the 160s, but I told the story of me shutting down my print-on-demand fulfillment center. I mean, that's being really vulnerable. I could have hid that. I could have given into this fear that this potential struggle, or this well, it wasn't a potential struggle. This challenge, this struggle makes me look weak. And maybe it did to some, and that's okay. I mean, in the end, that's okay. But I think what it did more so was it showed that I'm vulnerable. And I think vulnerability is really strength. And it's going to build trust because people see you dealing with challenges and struggles that they can relate to. And it's like, wow, I appreciate this person sharing these things with me because now I don't have to experience those same things because I can learn from their mistakes. And that's huge in a community. Sharing your challenges, it really does. It really invites solutions. It invites support, leading to stronger relationships, new insights, and even potential collaborations, working together with people, and it builds a stronger community in the end. That's the reality. So don't worry about what your reality is with your print-on-demand business. It doesn't make you look weak when you share those things in a community. Myth number 5, you don't have anything valuable to share. Again, total mindset. People believe that because they lack experience or knowledge compared to others, they don't have anything worthwhile to contribute. And that's just rubbish. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I still have this, well, this other person knows a lot more than me. And so I don't know if I have anything valuable to share. And this myth has really been destroyed or taken down a peg in my life as I've even been at the show. I mean, I'm talking to guys who have, multi-million and, 10 plus figure businesses not 10, that's a billion, 10 million plus, businesses that are seemingly killing it. But you know what? They have the same thing when they talk to people that are doing 20 million. It's the same. We all are at our level, and that's the end. That's where we're at. And we can't change that unless we glean information from these communities, unless we glean our experience from other people who are ahead of us. That's the way things work. You're never going to get really good at basketball unless you have a coach that can help you, that they may not be athletically as gifted, like LeBron James's coach when he was in high school may not have been able to do the things that LeBron James could do on the basketball court, but he could explain the concepts and he could explain how to become better and how to become arguably one of the best basketball players to ever play the game. And without a coach, he would never have achieved that. He might have been really good. He might have even made it to the NBA and won a championship or two or whatever. But because he listened to a coach and put himself under that coach, he's now LeBron James. He's the king, and same thing goes with Michael Jordan. So we don't have to have that debate. I think Michael Jordan's the best of all time. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, you might relate to this. I think we all do. We feel that our insights or our journey, aren't significant enough to make an impact in a community setting. We don't have anything valuable to share. But the reality is, like I was saying, everybody has unique insights. Everybody has unique experiences. And those unique experiences can actually benefit others. Even if you've never sold a single print-on-demand product, you still have experiences that can benefit others. It doesn't matter what your level of experience is. So sharing your journey, no matter how small, can provide value to others. And it can help build a sense of camaraderie and mutual growth and community, So that's the reality. You do have plenty of valuable things to share. Myth busted. All right, on to six. The sixth myth is community engagement is a waste of time. Come on, bro. I can't wrap my head around this, but I feel like I think some people think this way. Perception that your time spent engaging in a community could be better spent on other tasks, other business tasks, that you need to get done. And so, taking the time to sit on a call with, a coach or a mentor or, posting on Facebook in a community, asking that question. Well, I'm just going to go figure it out on my own and do it. I'm just going to go figure it out. Belief that the returns on this community and your engagement in this community are minimal or even non-existent. And that's just false. Spending time in a supportive community really will lead to valuable relationships, valuable partnerships, tons of learning opportunities, things, aha moments, gold nuggets, as we call them here on the podcast, and potentially even like business referrals, depending on what, industry you're in or what niche you're in. It really does benefit your business. The connections and the knowledge that you're gaining typically outweigh the time invested. I mean, that's kind of the way it goes, And what does that do? Well, that leads to long-term growth. That leads to you having relationships where you can glean information and you can glean experience from others. It kind of goes back to the point before where people don't feel like they have anything to share. Well, your experiences and the experiences of others just kind of lift the group. It's kind of a synergy type thing, bringing all of these different experiences and all of these different businesses together and really sharing and getting involved with each other. A rising tide really does lift all boats. So that's number 6. Number 7, and our final myth that we need to bust on this podcast today, is that you need to share everything to be part of the community. And this goes back to, some of those fears at the beginning when we talked about, well, they might steal my design. Well, then don't share it. That's okay. People have anxiety that they've got to disclose every detail of their business. In order to be accepted or valued, they have to share everything. And if somebody asks them for something, they have to share it. And that's just not true. You don't have to do that. Fear that sharing too much are going to reveal your trade secrets or your designs or your processes and give your competitors an advantage. Well, if you don't feel comfortable sharing it, guess what? You don't have to share it. I think there's a line here, and I think you should stretch yourself and push yourself toward sharing more about your business, because then you'll have more opportunities to get insights from others. And then other people will also be able to learn from that. The reality here is that community engagement doesn't require sharing everything. It's as simple as that. You can choose what to keep private and what to share. You don't have to share your Etsy login, you don't have to share that design. You don't even have to share your niche if you don't want to. You can talk in generalities, and that's totally fine. Like I say, I think there is a balance between that. And, I would encourage you to push yourself towards sharing more because, like I said, you can get more insights. But focusing on general experiences, general tips, kind of generalities, even general like struggles and challenges that you have in your business. If you don't want to fully expose everything, those, even just the general stuff that you share, can provide value to others. And you don't have to reveal all those huge details of your business strategy or your business failures or whatever, So in the end, this really is a myth. So let me just pop through all 7 one more time, just so you have a recap. But let's see. Number 1 was everybody in the community is a competitor. False. There's enough pie for everyone. It's a huge pie. Myth 2, sharing in a community means your designs will be stolen. Same thing. And like the seventh myth, you don't even have to share it if you don't feel comfortable doing it. But even if you do, most communities are supportive, and they have a general respect, a mutual respect. And those people who would do stuff like that are going to be found out, and they're going to be blackballed. Myth number 3, your niche will be overrun by nefarious people. Your niche will be discovered and overrun. And it's the same thing here. You don't have to worry about that because the pie is big enough for everybody. Multiple people can exist in the same niche because everybody's going to have their own spin on it. And that's okay. That's business. And you see it everywhere in the business landscape in our country and in our world. Myth number 4, being open about challenges and struggles makes you look weak. Again, mindset, vulnerability is key here. Being willing to go there, being willing to stretch yourself gives you the opportunity to learn and gain insight that you might not have gained had you not shared and opened up about those things. Myth number 5, you don't have anything valuable to share. Your experiences matter. Your current place that you're at in your business is important, and everybody's in a different place. Everybody's in a different part of their journey, and every person has something valuable to share. Your experiences are unique to you, and sharing them can help somebody else. Myth number 6, community engagement is a waste of time. Man, just don't even go there. There is so much synergy that happens in these communities. A rising tide lifts all boats, and you don't need to have this attitude, because it's not going to serve you well in the long run. And then finally, myth number 7, you need to share everything to be part of a community. Man, share what you want, share what you need to. That's totally fine. It's totally acceptable. Push yourself to share more, but if you really are uncomfortable, decide that maybe just wait a week and see how you feel. Wait a few days before you share it. That's totally fine. Okay, well, that's it for this episode of the Print on Demand Cast. Like I said, I'm going to try to see if I can edit some of this and maybe add a few things, but I don't know. This may just be an audio release, and it's definitely not a video release because I couldn't get that working, but appreciate you guys a ton. And if you are interested in joining me this upcoming week, next week on Tuesday night for the POD Foundations Challenge, this is an opportunity for you to engage in a community of people who are trying to get organized in their print-on-demand business. They're excited about it, and they're wanting to learn from you and from me and others in the group. So if that's you, go to printondemandcast.com/foundations. You've only got a few more days to register, and enter in your information there, and you'll get an email here probably when I get back from Vegas explaining all of the stuff. You'll go there, you'll see one date. That's the first date, September 17th. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to do the 17th, 18th, and 19th at 7 p.m. When you go there, you'll only see one date. Sign up for that, and then via email, I will send the following links for the other days, as well as any other relevant material. I'm going to be giving away all my spreadsheets that I talked about a few episodes ago, and we shared on on YouTube. And you'll get all of those, and we'll talk about how to implement them in your business, as well as I'll kind of peel back the curtain on how I use Wasabi, which is a file storage online platform, and it's really cheap. We use it a ton, and it works with our spreadsheets really well. I'll explain all of that. Guys, I really want to encourage you to check this challenge out, no matter what stage of your business you're in. Being organized is, the bottom of the print-on-demand success pyramid. It's really the thing that everything else builds upon. And so if that's you, if you're intrigued by that, go to printondemandcast.com/foundations. And don't wait, sign up, and we'll see you on the 17th. Okay, well, that's it for this episode of the Print on Demand Cast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you are encouraged and are excited about participating in community. In the meantime, if you want to participate in our Facebook community, just go to printondemandcast.com/Facebook, join our Facebook group, and post away. You could do all of that. So until next time, for Josiah, who isn't here, I'm Travis, and we'll see you next week, or maybe even on Tuesday if you come to the Foundations Challenge. But for sure, we'll see you next week on the Print on Demand Cast. See ya.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a minute. Before you go hitting that pause button and jumping into the next podcast, let me tell you about the free Pod Foundations Challenge happening September 17th to 19th. We're flipping the script on how you organize your print-on-demand business, giving you the same organizational spreadsheets I use to keep track of all my designs, my SKUs, and everything else I need to create a listing on any channel. Can't make it to the first session? No worries. Go ahead and sign up and catch the recordings later. Go to printondemandcast.com/foundations today and get in on this game-changing event. All right, now let's cue that outro music. Hey there, Pod Pals. Are you a print-on-demand creator looking to stay ahead of the curve? You want to know exactly when to launch your designs for every key season and event? How about a chuckle with an extra dad joke to brighten your day? If you said yes to any of these, then it's time to join the Print on Demand Cast VIP list. As a VIP, you'll get our free annual design calendar, an amazing guide to help you time your creations perfectly throughout the year. And of course, we'll include a bonus dad joke each week as well. Signing up couldn't be easier. Just visit printondemandcast.com/VIP and enter your email. Don't let another day of potential pass you by. Become a part of the VIP list, grab your annual design calendar, and let's dive into a year of inspired creating together. We'll see you on the other side.